Now, this story I'm going to use for comparison purposes later on. Okay, the first story is called the Trojan program story. Okay, suppose you design a Trojan computer program. If you don't know what a Trojan is, it's a little computer program that can be written. You release it into the internet, and then it goes and bores its way into other people's computers, and it does malicious things. All right, well, let's suppose you created a Trojan computer program that bores into all of US bank computers in the country. And what it does is the following. It transfers money from all the deposit accounts that are out there in every bank in the country, and it puts it into a secret Swiss bank account in your name. All right, now, suppose you design the program to withdraw this much from each account, 0.001%. Now, that means that if it bores into an account and somebody's holding a $100,000 deposit account, it's going to take out $1. If you got a $10,000 checking account, it's going to take out 10 cents. These amounts are likely to be too small for any of the individual deposit holders to really even notice. You know, you look at your account each month and you see what your balance is, and if somebody took out this much money from these sized accounts, you're likely to not even notice it. You wouldn't even see it. So all of the people that have money taken out don't know they're being stolen from, kind of like that HFT story, right? Now, some data. Total US bank deposits in 2020 amounted to $15 trillion. A lot of money is deposited in the bank. If you took out 0.001% from all the deposit accounts of $15 trillion, your Swiss bank account is going to have $150 million in it. That's quite a bit of change. This is a way, I'm going to suggest, to get rich without anyone suffering any noticeable loss. No one's even going to care or even notice. But you can become fabulously wealthy. If you knew that you could do this, would you do it? Would you do it? If you knew you couldn't get caught. Question, is it right? Is it ethical? Answer, clearly it's theft, right? You're violating people's property rights. You're taking money away from them. It's clearly illegal. You shouldn't do this. I'm not advising you to do this. I don't know how to write such a program, and I hope you don't either. Depositors did not choose to give their money away. But here's the last point I want to make. Income inequality rises. One person becomes fabulously rich, everybody else gets just a little poorer, but not much. And that's going to increase the overall amount of inequality in the system. New story, Happy App. Suppose you design a Happy App program that presents a user a new and unique and short happy video every time you log in. Think TikTok. Suppose you charge the user $1 for unlimited access to the happy videos. TikTok doesn't do that, but I'm changing the assumption. You have to pay $1 to use TikTok. Would you do it? Many of you would. Suppose you got 150 million people to purchase the Happy App. How much would you make in revenues? $150 million. $1 per person, 150 million people, $150 million in your pocket. This is a way to get rich without anyone suffering a noticeable loss. Everybody's out a buck, not a big deal. Is it right? Ethical? Clearly, all of this is mutually voluntary exchange. Purchasers spent $1 because they expect to receive more than $1 in utility. Both sides benefits from the trade. Notice, last point I want to make, inequality increases. One person is very rich, everyone else is just a little bit poorer. Some lessons. With the Trojan program, self-interest is satisfied by reducing the utility of many others. This is theft, therefore we could classify it as greedy behavior. With the Happy App, self-interest is satisfied while creating even more value for others. Everyone is voluntarily choosing to buy your app because it's giving them happiness. Consumers gain more than the $150 million in utility overall because they were willing to fork over that much money for the Happy App. Income inequality is increasing in exactly the same way in both circumstances. In the first case, with the Trojan, inequality is clearly unjust because money was stolen away from some people in order to make it possible. In the Happy App program, same inequality exists, but it's harder to argue that this is an unjust, unequal income because the person that got rich in this case was doing it through mutually voluntary exchange.